Hey everybody, Black Ninja 797 here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Black Ops Pass in Black Ops 4. This is something that is being heavily talked about right now, and I thought I would give my opinions on it, but I'm not exactly going to be doing it in a way like everybody else is doing right now, where it's kind of like a mini rant video. I kind of wanted to actually propose a question based off of just what Activision is deciding to do with the pass. And the question I'm actually going to ask you guys for today's video is that because of the direction that Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is heading in, especially considering the fact that of what just got announced with the pass, which I'll get into in a moment, do you want Call of Duty to die? Do you genuinely believe that since Call of Duty is just not getting any better and it's only getting worse and worse, would you want the game just stop being made altogether? Whether it be Treyarch, whether it be Infinity Ward, whether it be Sledgehammer, just because like in general over the last few years, like because of what Activision has been doing to the game franchise for Call of Duty, do you just want Call of Duty to stop being made altogether, or in this case like Call of Duty officially die? I'm curious because a lot of people are really pissed about this Black Ops pass, and rightfully so. This Black Ops pass is a complete slap in the face to anybody that has been supportive for Call of Duty for like the last few years, and it just like doesn't make any sense how that when Activision needs to be man enough to be able to actually give out free stuff for once, that they're going to actually just make us pay for the DLC again. It's just absurd. It really is absurd. I don't know why that Activision's greed is this high, where they're really willing to absolutely 100% risk the franchise completely dying. This year, there is no turning back. You can't make a mistake this year. Whether it's Activision's fault, whether it's Treyarch's fault, if this Call of Duty sucks for whatever reason, no matter whose fault it is, the very first impression, people are going to think that the game is awful, and then that no one's going to play it again, and that can't be the case. Because if this game fails, Call of Duty as a franchise is screwed. Like in general, like Call of Duty will be 100% screwed. And it might not necessarily be anyone's particular fault. We might just outgrow the franchise altogether. Like in general, like I think that Call of Duty is built around this generation. I think that the 2007 to like 2012 Call of Duty players are being just pushed away. I believe that the Call of Duty players from like Call of Duty Ghosts, maybe Advanced Warfare onward, are the new generation of Call of Duty players, and sure, they may be trying to get back some of the old Call of Duty players, but they're primarily trying to keep the new players that they got, which makes sense, because why would you want to get rid of also all the new players, just try to get back some of the older players who might not necessarily guaranteed come back, and then lose your new players in the process. That's kind of like the thing with the exo jumping Call of Duty players versus the non-exo jumping Call of Duty players. They kind of pushed the exo Call of Duty players away to try to get the boots on the ground ones back, and now they're kind of trying to like bring them back with the more futuristic Call of Duty games with Black Ops 4. So it's just like, do you want the games to die? Do you just want them to stop being made altogether? I propose this question for multiple reasons. One is because with Black Ops 4, it's going to be a hit or miss for Call of Duty. I predicted last year that it was going to be a hit or miss for Call of Duty as a franchise with Sledgehammer. And here's the thing with Sledgehammer is that I genuinely think that they didn't fix the game with that giant rework that they had back in April, that the game was going to die, because it was a good game. It just got really boring, and the game just was not a complete product. And like that's been the last few years for the last few Call of Duties. The games just are not finished, which is bad. That's very bad. And like the thing is too is that these games are AAA titles. These are supposed to be very high quality, well done games, and they're just not being complete from day one up until like 6 months later. It's still getting patches just to add in basic things, which is really crappy. And with the combination of the games being crappy and not being taken care of right off the launch, and having bugs and having bad first impressions, and Activision's pure greed affecting the games whether the developers want or not, and in just general just like not liking the futuristic games, and then some people don't even like the World War II genre. People feel like that's getting oversaturated again. People are saying they want a modern game. Just all these conflicting opinions, and at just the end of the day, like Call of Duty can't do everything, no developer can do anything, so it's just like, do you want to take a break, or you just want the franchise to stop? like because you just don't want to see anybody else being consumed by Activision's greed, or because the games suck or whatever. I just genuinely curious. I do genuinely want to know, because we for the longest time as a community have been saying that Call of Duty has been dying for years, but the game still gets made, the game still gets bought, the game is still in the top 10 most sold. I mean, crap, it's even the most top 10, top 5 most sold games every single year. And whether it's not necessarily number one, it's almost always number one. And it's just insane to see how well this franchise can still somehow manage to get through all this bull crap and still be afloat. It's really sad that these games are just being like handed to us completely unfinished. It's like giving somebody something broken as like a Christmas gift. Like, you give them something, sure, but like, what's the point if it's broken? You have to fix it. And you fix it very lazily, like over like the slow course of a few months, and not immediately. You know what I mean? You get what I mean? It's like, it's a project. It's not really a gift, and it's just like annoying. Because if Activision's willing to pull this crap with the Black Ops pass, which I'm finally about to get into, like, imagine what they'll do once they already have our money. A lot of people are talking about that. Like, genuinely, like, what will they do once they already get some of these people to get the game and go past with this? So the main premise of the Black Ops Pass is supposed to be a replacement for the Season Pass, but the way that it works is that it's going to be dropping content more frequently. So instead of getting like 4 DLC packs where it's like a zombies map and then 4 multiplayer maps over the course of like the whole entire year for like every 3 months or so, it's supposed to work like this now, where you end up getting 12 multiplayer maps and then 4 zombies maps across the whole entire first year of the game, I believe, where you get 1 free new piece of content every single month. So it's kind of like they give you everything, but more frequently, but in less of a big quantity. So they kind of spread it out, which I guess makes sense. But the thing is, though, a lot of people want the content to be free because everyone's expecting it to be a lot like Fortnite, and that's just not the case. Activision's not that generous. They can't go more than like 1 time without like just getting greedy again. And it's just super sad to see how greedy that these guys are, that they're willing to risk everything, like, just to simply get an extra few bucks. It's ridiculous. So the Black Ops Pass, other than you getting the 1 free piece of content like every month or whatever, the thing that sucks about it too is that you can only end up getting DLC if you get this pass. You can't buy pieces of the pass individually, kind of like Fortnite with the Battle Pass, where you can get tiers. You have to just pay for the full thing in full, and you can't back out of it either. Like, you can't like buy the DLC to get 1 piece and then delete the rest of it. Like, you actually have to buy the whole entire pass. And when you buy the pass, I don't even know if you can delete it or like disable DLC like you could back in Modern Warfare 3, because they'll probably need to, considering like 50% of the player base is not going to be buying this. And it's just annoying because they're gonna by day 1 split the player base in half. Because Charlie Intel had a poll and like 49,000 people participated, including myself, and a lot of people ended up getting very vocal about their opinions. But at the end of the day, the poll was very, very down the line, and it was 50, literally 50% agreed on getting the pass and 50% didn't want to get it. So it was split down the line. And half the player base, based off of that poll, the 49,000 people that participated in that Twitter poll, aren't getting the Battle Pass or the Black Ops Pass, or just the pass in general that provides the DLC, because nobody wants to have to pay for it. Because every single other game is doing free stuff. Battlefield is like a prime example of this. They're going to be having all post-launch maps be 100% for free. They are going to be having 0 form of loot boxes. And then they are also going to be making so that way all content after game release is free. And then Activision here for Call of Duty, they're making it so that way you have to pay for a pass to get any form of the DLC. And then they're also bringing back the COD points, which is just like absolutely absurd. I don't know why that they thought this was a good idea. They can't screw up, and they're still willing to risk it all. Because what happens if there is like a legit time where eventually Activision, you just don't have the ability to win back the fans at all anymore? Like, people eventually just like can't take it anymore, and people have a breaking point. And sure, you may be able to replace the old fans with new fans, sure, but even they're gonna have they're gonna even have enough of your bullcrap too eventually. Like, people get bored, people get mad, people get frustrated, people move on. It's just like, you can't keep everyone forever. And the thing is too, is that that's going to be expected. But what happens when you also can't pull new people in either, because your franchise has been frowned upon for the last few years? That's not even funny anymore. Your franchise, especially during like Infinite Warfare, that was really, really bad. And like, now you're starting to scare everybody like that you're about to do something like that again, where like the game just ends up being really bad and you can't do that again. So like, I don't know what you're doing here, Activision. You just gotta make up your mind. Are you gonna be continuing to be greedy and risk it all, or are you gonna actually man up for once and give free content away, you know? So at the end of the day, guys, the pass is just ridiculous. I don't know why anyone would buy it. I'm personally not gonna buy it. I might change my mind. I don't know. Maybe the DLC might be worth it. But like, at the end of the day, it's just like, it's just a big slap in the face to everybody that just thought maps would be for free, especially considering the fact that every other game is basically doing it right now, where all the content's free. So like, it's just a big FU from Activision. So anyways, let me know in the comments down below, do you want Call of Duty to die or just stop, just for this sole reason that just the game is just not going in a positive route? So let me know by leaving a comment, or just by even just like tweeting me or whatever. Like, just let me know some form of way, like just to let me know your thoughts and opinions, because in my opinion, I've had my straws with Call of Duty multiple times before, and like, they somehow keep pulling me back. It's like an abusive relationship. Like, you're like the wife in this situation, like, and you just keep getting abused, and then you keep crawling back, and like, it's just it's a perfect example too, because like, that's exactly what happens. Like, I was going to borderline quit Call of Duty altogether with Infinite Warfare and COD 4 when they add the supply drop system to the COD 4, because if they were willing to destroy a old game, you know, what are they going to do with any other form of game that they have? So like, I was just like, yeah, I'm just done with the franchise. And then when they finally brought back boots on the ground with Call of Duty World War II, I was like, okay, I'll give it another chance, and then they sucked me right back into the effery. So I mean, I don't know, at the end of the day, you just want to play what makes you happy, but like, it's just so dumb, you know what I mean? So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts. I'll see you later. Peace.